Japan. Japan is a country of quiet moments and layered meaning. A place where the modern world hums beside centuries-old tradition, where stillness is not absence, but presence. Time moves differently here. The future arrives in high-speed trains and smart cities, but the past never disappears. It lingers in the curve of a shrine roof, the rattle of a bamboo fountain, the sound of slippers on wood. Even in the busiest cities, there is balance. In Tokyo, glass towers reflect centuries-old gardens. And in Kyoto, stone steps lead to hidden tea houses and quiet shrines. Onsen steam rises in mountain villages just as it did 1,000 years ago. A simple meal becomes a ritual here. A flower in bloom becomes a gathering. Even silence speaks. Japanese culture is built on noticing, on doing one thing well, whether crafting pottery or arranging a meal. Care and precision are everywhere. But beauty here does not shout. It waits, in a brushstroke of calligraphy, in the movement of koi beneath still water, in the flicker of a lantern at dusk. There is a word, wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection and impermanence. Moss is cherished, worn wood admired. Falling petals bring a smile. To walk through Japan is to enter a living poem. It asks nothing of you but your attention. This is not a country that demands admiration. It simply offers presence. And if you slow, just for a moment, you may find in the space between sound and silence, not just a place to visit, but a way of seeing, a way of being. This is Japan. Mount Fuji rises 3,776 meters into the sky. Its perfect symmetry revered for centuries. Though formed by 3 volcanoes stacked together, it appears as one solitary peak, silent and timeless. Pilgrims once walked for days to glimpse it. Even now, travelers climb through the night to witness the sunrise from its crown. At its base, shrines and torii gates stand like guardians. Offerings are made, not just to the mountain, but to the spirit within. Until 1872, women were forbidden to climb Mount Fuji. Today, however, it belongs to all. On a clear day, it can be seen from over 100 kilometers away. Yet up close, it feels remarkably humble. Fuji is more than a mountain. It is a national symbol, etched in woodblock prints, poetry, and spiritual life. Hokusai's 36 views of Mount Fuji captured it in every season and in every light. For centuries, many believed Fuji to be a gateway to the gods. Followers of the Fujiko sect once climbed barefoot, chanting prayers into the wind. Today, the official climbing season runs from July to early September. 4 main trails wind towards the summit, dotted with mountain huts for rest and shelter. At the northern base, the Fuji 5 Lakes region offers another kind of pilgrimage. Lake Kawaguchi is famous for reflecting the snow-capped peak. Nearby, the Chureito Pagoda frames the mountain in spring blossoms and autumn fire. Fuji is a place of great beauty, reverence, and reflection. A UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2013, it continues to draw seekers of stillness, from poets and pilgrims to travelers and dreamers. In Japan, beauty is not only what you see, it's what you feel passing by. Here, there is a term for this, mono no aware, which is a quiet, bittersweet awareness of impermanence. It is the pathos of things, the beauty in that which doesn't last. It is the hush of falling blossoms, the way mist clings to cedar bark. A moment so fragile, you feel it slip away even as you hold it. It does not demand admiration. It simply waits. Hokkaido. Far to the north, where winter lingers and the sea carries the breath of drifting ice, the land begins to feel ancient, wilder, less shaped by human hands. This is Hokkaido, and at its northeastern edge lies the Shirakawa-go Peninsula, a name that means the end of the world. Here, dense forests meet dramatic coastlines. Brown bears roam. Sea eagles drift across frozen skies. And every winter, drift ice arrives from Siberia, touching Japan with a wind from another world. The entire peninsula is a sanctuary, protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You don't come here to be entertained. You come here to remember how small you are. In summer, waterfalls spill from fog-cloaked cliffs. In winter, the sea freezes. One of the few places at this latitude where ice still survives, creating a rare ecological frontier. Beneath the surface, ribbon seals, sea angels, and migrating fish that guide orcas and eagles through the season. The Ainu people have long revered Shirakawa-go as sacred, naming rivers and animals with a language of respect. Their belief in the Kamui, divine spirits inhabiting natural places, still echoes in the woods. Even today, ceremonies honor the salmon's return or the passing of a bear. To the west, the land shifts again. Golden waves ripple through the Tottori dunes, Japan's only desert. Formed over thousands of years by wind and river, these rolling sands feel more like North Africa than East Asia. Camels walk the ridges. Winds write calligraphy into the dunes. It is a place of paradox, where sand and sea embrace. Visitors glide down dunes on sandboards, or take in the view from a gently swaying camel perched atop its hump. Nearby, the Sand Museum displays breathtaking sculptures, cities and legends carved from the very earth. Still further south, on Yakushima Island, stand the ancient cedar forests. Trees here are not hundreds, but thousands of years old. Their trunks twist with time. Moss blankets every surface. The air feels older than history. The Jomon Sugi, believed to be over 7,000 years old, stands deep in the mountains. A full day trek away, as if time itself receded into the woods. The island receives rain more than 300 days a year, feeding an ecosystem so rich many of its species exist nowhere else. It is believed that Hayao Miyazaki walked these forests when imagining the spirits of Princess Mononoke. You can still feel them here, quiet, watching. In Japan, nature is never just a backdrop. It is a character, a teacher, a memory. To walk these places is to step not only across distance, but time. Each region holds its own breath, its own voice. And if you truly listen, you may hear the heartbeat of something vast, enduring, and wise. Tokyo. Tokyo is a city of opposites, held together by harmony. Towering skyscrapers and ancient shrines stand just blocks apart. Between train lines and glowing signs, you'll find quiet gardens, hidden courtyards, and moments of stillness. Once known as Edo, Tokyo became the capital in the late 19th century and has never stopped evolving. But it hasn't forgotten how to pause. In the morning, soft light falls across Ueno Park. By afternoon, business suits blur past temples unchanged for centuries. In the evening, lanterns flicker to life in the alleys of Golden Gai, steeped in drinking culture, and Omoide Yokocho, renowned for its izakayas and yakitori. Order and movement, silence and speed. Tokyo listens, even as it moves. Beneath the neon hum, Tokyo is layered, each era leaving a quiet trace on the next. The city rose from the ashes of war and the tremors of earthquakes. Yet, rituals endure. Salarymen bow before elevators, and children clap twice at shrines. In Yanaka, one of the few districts untouched by modern development, wooden homes and stone paths recall the Tokyo of generations past. Cats nap on temple steps, and locals sip tea beside carved Buddhas. In spring, cherry blossoms arrive like a breath held too long. Parks become theaters of fleeting beauty. Hanami, or flower viewing, is a centuries-old celebration of the beauty in nature that both arrives and dies in a single season. In autumn, crimson leaves drift throughout temple courtyards. Even downtown, nature reminds Tokyo that stillness is near. In Akihabara and Shibuya, the future surges from every screen. Robots serve coffee, yet even here, shrines wait in the alleyways, offering incense to the past. Tokyo is not merely a city, it's a living rhythm. Contrast becomes continuity. 1,000 stories unfold not in conflict, but in conversation. Each district hums with its own frequency. In Harajuku, teens in candy-colored wigs walk past beside Meiji Jingu's forested stillness. Nearby, Omotesando hosts elegant boutiques and refined lines. In Asakusa, incense leads pilgrims to Sensoji, Tokyo's oldest temple. Kamen Eramon welcomes visitors into Nakamise Street, where stalls offer fans, sweets, and prayers. The Tsukiji Outer Market bustles before dawn. Food here is sacred: slurped noodles, delicate sushi, steaming oden under train tracks. In Shibuya, the scramble crossing moves like a dance. This is the busiest intersection in the world, and a popular destination for travelers and content creators. Roppongi houses the Mori Art Museum above the skyline. In Odaiba, TeamLab Borderless turns light and sound into flowing interactive art shows. Tachinomiya, or standing bars, offer shoulder-to-shoulder intimacy. Strangers here share sake and stories. Time seems to bend. The Tokyo Skytree rises like a steel prayer. From its deck, the city stretches endlessly, each light a quiet window. And just below, someone lights incense. Someone ties a wish to a tree. Someone bows, not in haste, but in thanks. This is Tokyo. Not a contradiction, but a conversation. Between eras, between silence, and between sensations. A city that breathes, listens, and remembers. Kyoto. If Tokyo looks ahead, Kyoto looks inward. Once Japan's imperial capital for over 1,000 years, Kyoto is a city of stillness and ceremony. Its temples, alleys, and wooden homes whisper of a time that never truly left. At the foot of the forested hills begins the path to Fushimi Inari. Nearly 10,000 crimson torii gates line the trails, each a prayer for fortune. The shrine, dating to the 8th century, honors Inari, the kami of harvests, prosperity, and sacred foxes. Walking beneath the gates, the world seems to narrow. Footsteps become more quiet, and time dissolves. And at each turn, a fox statue waits, guarding something more than stone. Here, sacred and mundane coexist without borders. School children pass temples older than memory. Monks chant in moss-dusted gardens. Tea becomes ceremony, shaped by silence and by centuries. Spared the bombings of World War II, Kyoto remains a city where pre-modern architecture lives on, not as a relic, but as ritual, a part of the everyday. Over 1,600 temples and 400 shrines rest between city streets and wooded slopes. In Arashiyama, the bamboo grove rises like green breath. Nearby, the Togetsu-kyo Bridge spans the Katsura River, its views iconic in spring or autumn. To the north, Kinkakuji, also known as the Golden Pavilion, glows beside a pond. Once a shogun's retreat, Kinkakuji is now a Zen temple of delicate harmony. Gingakuji, the Silver Pavilion, was never silver, but radiates quiet refinement. It anchors the philosopher's path, a tranquil walk once favored by Nishida Kitaro, a prominent 19th century Japanese philosopher who would ponder his deepest thoughts while walking beneath its blooming trees. In Higashiyama, cobbled streets lead to Kiyomizu-dera, an impressive temple built without a single nail, its balcony jutting over a sea of rooftops. Below lies Gion, Kyoto's famed geisha district, where Geiko and Maiko vanish beneath lattice doors to host with grace and artistry. Kyoto's traditions touch everything. Kaiseki meals are arranged like paintings, tatami floors and futons in ryokan inns. Even bathing follows etiquette. Quiet, respectful, timeless. Here beauty lives in contrast, in wooden gates weathered by centuries, and in the hush of shrines that remember an age gone by. It is beauty found in both the fleeting and in the eternal. Yet Kyoto is not frozen. In Nishiki Market, Kyoto's kitchen, centuries-old stalls sit beside cafes. Pickled vegetables and matcha lattes live in harmony. Old and new live here not in conflict but in rhythm, like ink brushed into silk. In winter, snow hushes temple roofs. In summer, lanterns float over the Kamo River. And in every season, something listens. Kyoto does not shout, but it hums. In Zen gardens, in the rustle of bamboo, in the tolling of bells. If Tokyo teaches us to move forward, Kyoto teaches us how to remain still, how to honor what endures. Shirakawa-go. In the mountains of Gifu, a village sleeps beneath snow-heavy skies. This is Shirakawa-go, where time slows to the pace of a drifting flake, and homes rise like folded hands in prayer. The thatched roof houses, called gashozukuri, are built with steep angles to shed snow entirely without nails. Some are over 250 years old. Smoke curls from chimneys. Lanterns glow through paper windows. Yet another declared UNESCO World Heritage Site, Shirakawa-go remains a living place, a memory that breathes. Cradled by the Japanese Alps, this region stayed isolated for centuries. Harsh winters forged a culture of self-reliance and cooperation. Families lived under one roof, working in silk farming and mulberry cultivation, their lives woven like the beams above them. Gashozukuri means constructed like hands in prayer, a nod to the rooftops which mimic the reverent gesture of monks. Crafted from local grass, the roofs are layered by hand and renewed every few decades in a village-wide effort that strengthens the bonds as much as homes. In winter, Shirakawa-go becomes otherworldly. Snow piles high, softening every edge. During seasonal light-up events, the village glows in silence, an ethereal vision against a white landscape. Living art. Ogimachi, the largest hamlet, offers several preserved farmhouses, offering viewers a glimpse into the past. The Wada House, once home to a prominent family, reveals tatami rooms, silkworm lofts, and tools passed down for generations. From the Shiroyama viewpoint, the village appears like a painted scroll. Triangular rooftops, nestled in white, ringed by forest and mountain. Though tourism has brought roads and inns, the village honors its roots. Local guides tell stories passed down by elders. Shops offer sarubobo dolls and washi paper, and often a cup of tea. Seasons shape life here. Spring rushes with meltwater. Summer hums with green fields and festivals. Autumn blazes, winter hushes, and history lives on. Nearby, Gokayama offers an even quieter echo of this life. Family-run inns welcome visitors into century-old rhythms. But the soul of Shirakawa-go isn't in the architecture alone. It's in the spirit of continuity. A place where the past lives forward, where snow falls on rooftops shaped like prayer, and where time, gently, is allowed to stay, sit, and rest for a while. Osaka. Just a few hours south, Osaka welcomes you with laughter, color, and flavor. Known as the kitchen of Japan, Osaka is Japan's extrovert, a city built for the senses. Neon signs shimmer over canal waters. Street food sizzles on every corner. People speak with warmth and boldness. Beneath the energy lies deep tradition. Castles that once guarded samurai lords and theaters where kabuki still comes to life. Walk through Dotonbori at night and you'll see it all. Glowing signs, reflections, rhythm. It's a city that never hides what it loves. In Osaka, joy isn't a distraction, it's the point. For centuries, Osaka was Japan's merchant capital. Its canals once carried goods across the country. Now, they carry visitors through a city that celebrates the everyday. Osaka's spirit lives in its food. Takoyaki, crispy octopus balls, and okonomiyaki, savory cabbage pancakes, are grilled in tiny stalls and lively izakayas. Kuromon Ichiba Market, Osaka's pantry, has fed the city for over 170 years, offering everything from tuna belly to matcha desserts. Districts pulse with personality. Namba glows with arcades and karaoke bars. Umeda's vertical skyline hosts sleek towers and underground malls. The Umeda Sky Building's observatory offers panoramic views to the sea. Shinsekai New World brims with retro charm. At its heart, Tsutenkaku Tower stands tall, surrounded by lanterns and kushikatsu, which are delightful fried skewers of just about anything you can think of. Mighty Osaka Castle rises from its moat like a monument to resilience. Built in the 16th century, it anchors the city in history. Cherry blossoms bloom in spring, and the Castle Museum tells stories of samurai and unification. Sumiyoshi Taisha Shrine, one of Japan's oldest, offers stone lanterns, sacred bridges, and a calm that predates the modern city by 1,000 years. The National Bunraku Theater preserves Japan's classical puppet drama. Kabuki and No still grace local stages, centuries of art alive in movement and costume. For cinematic wonder, Universal Studios Japan brings fantasy to life. From Harry Potter to high-tech thrill rides. Osaka's people, known for their humor and candor, offer depth to the city's character. Comedy is a matter of civic pride in Osaka, and the Nama Grand Kagetsu Theater stands at the heart of the city's legendary comedy scene. For many locals, laughter is as essential as good food. Even late at night, Osaka doesn't sleep. It just softens. Standing bars glow in alleyways, laughter spills onto the streets, strangers become friends over sake and grilled fish. This is Osaka, a city that wears its heart on its sleeve, its flavors on its breath, and its stories in every smiling face. Where pleasure isn't postponed, where tradition and mischief walk hand in hand, where joy always is taken very seriously. Kiyomizu-dera. High up in the forested hillsides of eastern Kyoto, above a canopy of cherry trees and red maples, stands Kiyomizu-dera, the Pure Water Temple. Founded in 778 and rebuilt without a single nail, the temple seems to float above the trees. Its vast wooden stage juts over the hillside, offering a panoramic view of the old city. Tiled roofs, winding streets, and a quiet pulse stretch out before your watchful eyes. Visitors come not only for the view, but for what lies within. Beneath the main hall, the Otowa waterfall flows in 3 streams. One for longevity, one for success, and one for love. The legend warns, drink from all 3, and misfortune may follow. Nearby stands Jishu Shrine, devoted to the god of love. Walk between 2 stones with your eyes closed, and your wish for love may come true. Bells ring, prayers are whispered, trees listen, having outlived generations. Kiyomizu-dera is not just a site, it's a place of longing and hope, a space between past and future. Its name comes from the pure water of Otowa Spring, which has drawn pilgrims for over 1,000 years. The temple belongs to the Kita Hoso school of Buddhism and enshrines the 11-faced Kannon Bodhisattva, which is held in the Buddhist belief to be compassion embodied. The main hall, completed in 1633, rests on a vast wooden lattice. Built without nails, it follows ancient Japanese carpentry traditions. The Kiyomizu stage became a symbol of courage. To jump off the stage once meant taking a leap of faith. Each season transforms the temple. Blossoms in spring, cicadas in summer, fiery leaves in fall, and silent snow in the winter. The approach to Kiyomizu-dera winds through the preserved lanes of Sanenzaka and Minenzaka. Lined with tea shops and confectioners offering yatsuhashi, a cinnamon sweet local to Kyoto. On special nights, lanterns light the temple in a gentle glow. Shadows flicker like memories along wooden rails. Kiyomizu-dera is more than wood and stone. It is a vessel of belief. place for the seeking of heart, and a reminder that faith, like water, endures. Off the coast of Hiroshima, on the island of Miyajima, a great vermilion gate rises from the sea. This is the Itsukushima Shrine, where land and water, human and spirit blur into something timeless and connected. At high tide, the shrine appears to float, its bright pillars reflected in the rippling surface. At low tide, you can walk across the sand to the Tori's base. But the presence remains sacred, serene, and eternal. Miyajima has long been considered divine. For centuries, births and deaths were forbidden to preserve its purity. Even today, there are no cemeteries or maternity wards. The mountain remains untouched. Nature is worshipped here and not altered. The shrine dates back to the 6th century, shaped in the 12th century by the warrior Taira no Kiyomori, who believed beauty and power were as one. Itsukushima is one of Japan's 3 great views, not just scenic, but unforgettable. The name Miyajima, or Shrine Island, reflects its identity. The island feels like a temple without walls. Trees sway over stone lanterns, wild deer roam freely, once seen as sacred messengers in Shinto belief. The shrine is dedicated to the daughters of the sea god Susanoo, and it's built on stilts of vermilion. Its corridors frame sea and mountain like a painting. The natural world becomes part of the shrine itself. In summer, the Kangansai festival fills the bay with music played from boats. Flutes and drums drift across the water. Above it all rises Mount Misen. A cable car will bring you partway up, but the summit must be reached on foot. Through forest paths lined with hidden shrines and statues. From the top, the Seto Inland Sea glows in every direction. Here the monk Kobo Daishi once meditated. An eternal flame still burns in Rekado Hall, later used to light Hiroshima's peace flame. Nearby, Daisho-in Temple offers quiet reflection. Dozens of small statues wear hats and bibs. Pilgrims spin prayer wheels. Incense lingers in the still air. Miyajima offers far more than reflection. Ryokan, traditional Japanese inns, overlook the gate. Shops serve grilled oysters and maple leaf cakes called momiji manju, soft, sweet, and filled with red bean or custard. When night falls, the tide returns. The Tori glows, the crowds fade, only waves, wind, and the breath of the eternal remain. Miyajima is not merely a destination. It is a moment suspended between sea and sky, where the divine does not descend, but rises. With each tide, with each prayer, with each step across the sand. High up on the slope of Mount Arakura in Fuji Yoshida, memory, beauty, and devotion meet in quiet harmony. The Chureito Pagoda, with its red tiers stretching into the sky, was built in 1963 as a peace memorial. This is not ancient, though it feels timeless, especially in spring. Each year, as cherry blossoms bloom, thousands climb nearly 400 steps to see one of Japan's most iconic views, the 5-story pagoda framed by pink petals and a snow-capped Mount Fuji. In the hush of morning or golden dusk, the view doesn't just impress, but it actually stills the soul. Chureito is not grand in size, but in silence. Not old in years, but it is deep in spirit. To stand here between blossoms and sky, memory and mountain, is to feel the balance that Japan returns to again and again. The pagoda stands in Arakurayama Sengen Park, home to the Arakura Fuji Sengen Shrine, which is dedicated to Konohana Sakuya Hime, guardian of Mount Fuji. For centuries, pilgrims came here to offer prayers before climbing the sacred peak. Though modern, the pagoda reflects older traditions of reverence and harmony with nature. Its red body glows like fire through every season: green summers, red autumns, and winters still white. In spring, more than 650 cherry trees bloom along the hillside, turning the park into a living painting. The most powerful moments come early in the day, as the first petals fall and the world feels newly made. In autumn, the trees blaze. In winter, the pagoda watches in quiet solitude. The climb itself invites reflection. Steps and breath and rhythm, the city slowly unfolding below. From the top, Fuji Yoshida stretches toward Mount Fuji. Wooden homes and shrines sit beside schools and stores. The past is not erased, it walks beside the present. Nearby, Lake Kawaguchi reflects the mountain. Oshino Hakkai's clear springs, fed by snowmelt, offer another window into sacred stillness. But always, the gaze returns to Mount Fuji. Not just a backdrop, but a presence, waiting and watching. And the Churei-Ito Pagoda, in reverent stillness, reminds us to do the same. It offers an opportunity to pause, reflect, and remember not just what has passed, but what continues to endure. Hakone. To the southwest of Tokyo, where mountains rise and the scent of sulfur lingers in the cool air, lies Hakone, a place shaped by water, mist, and quiet wonder. Known for its hot springs, open-air museums, cedar forests, and above all, the still waters of Lake Ashi. On calm mornings, the lake becomes a mirror, reflecting clouds, trees, and Mount Fuji's distant silhouette. Painted boats drift across the surface, some styled like old pirate ships, their masts rising into the mountain air. Near the shore stands Hakone Shrine, its red torii gate half submerged in the shallows. It seems to float, as if it had grown there, like two brilliant trees, grown, stretching arms across, to come together as one. The path to the shrine winds through towering cypress. Lanterns glow in the moss, roots twist like the lines of a poem. At Iwakudani, the Great Boiling Valley, steam rises from volcanic rock. Sulfurous vents hiss. The landscape feels alive, ancient, and strange. Black eggs are boiled in the springs here, said to grant 7 extra years of life. Once a sacred stop on the Tokaido Road connecting Kyoto and Edo, Hakone welcomed pilgrims and travelers seeking rest. That legacy continues to endure. Onsen bathing remains a quiet ritual, mineral-rich, healing, unhurried. Beyond its waters, Hakone is a sanctuary for the imagination. The open-air museum displays works by Picasso, Henry Moore, and Japanese sculptors, set in dialogue with trees and sky. Children climb sculptures. Light dances across bronze. Art and nature speak the same language. The Pola Museum of Art, tucked into the forest, merges impressionist and traditional works. Glass galleries invite the outside in. From the Hakone ropeway, visitors glide above Iwakudani's vents and forests, catching glimpses of Mount Fuji, which by now should seem synonymous with Japan itself. At the restored Hakone checkpoint, travelers glimpse a time when movement was pilgrimage. Autumn ignites the forests in red and gold. In spring, cherry trees bloom along the lake and shrine paths. Each season brings its own hush of pine and of mineral steam. Each district here has its own rhythm. Gora's hot spring resorts, Miyanoshita's blend of Meiji charm and modern inns, and Moto Hakone's lakeside shrines. But no matter where you walk, through mossy paths or steaming valleys, Hakone feels alive, as if it's watching and listening. In the mountains of Nagano, where snow blankets the ground for much of the year, steam rises from a narrow river gorge. The stones are slick with frost, the trees stand silent. In the middle of it all, a group of macaws sits, bathing in the warmth of a hot spring pool. These are the snow monkeys of Jigokudani, Japan's most famous wild primates. With red faces and thick coats, they lounge in the steaming waters as if they've done so forever. But this habit began only in the 1950s, when one monkey slipped into an outdoor onsen near a hotel. Others watched and soon followed. Within years, it became a winter ritual for the whole troop. Today, the monkeys are wild but familiar. Each winter, they descend from the cliffs drawn by the warmth. Visitors gather, cameras ready, but the monkeys rarely look up. They close their eyes, take deep breaths, and watch the snow drift. Steam continues to rise, and the world simply seems to pause. There's a beauty here that asks for nothing. The cracked stones, the falling snow, and the silence of steam rising all remind us of wabi-sabi, that quiet reverence for the imperfect. This is not a scene to be perfected. It is a moment to be noticed. There's something strangely human in their behavior and something ancient in us watching. Jigokudani is not a spectacle. It's a reminder that warmth is sacred, learning is shared, and even in the cold, comfort can be found. Its name, Jigokudani Yenkon, or Hell Valley Wild Monkey Park, comes from the steaming vents and jagged cliffs once likened to the underworld. But here, the only spirits are those of curiosity and the occasional lazy monkey. Located in Yoshinetsu Kogen National Park, the area is one of Japan's most dramatic alpine landscapes. In winter, it's buried in snow. Visitors reach it via a 30-minute forest trail. Crisp air, near silence, broken only by boots on snow or a distant crow. For many, the walk is part of the experience. It slows the breath and shifts the rhythm. And when the monkeys appear, soaking and grooming, completely at ease, the moment somehow feels earned. Nearby, Yudanaka offers traditional inns and steaming mineral baths, the same waters the monkeys enjoy. Shibu Onsen, with its cobbled streets and wooden ryokan, immerses visitors in Japan's bathing culture. Guests stroll from bath to bath in yukata robes and sandals. Visiting all 9 public baths is said to bring good fortune. Not far away, Zenkoji Temple in Nagano City offers a sacred contrast. This is one of Japan's oldest Buddhist temples. It enshrines what's believed to be the first Buddhist image brought to the country. Its incense-laced halls offer stillness of another kind, sometimes felt like another world. Of course, the monkeys remain the heart of this place. Japanese macaw are the northernmost living non-human primates surviving sub-zero winters with complex social lives, grooming rituals, matriarchal clans, even inherited soaking spots, a culture all their own. In the Japanese Alps, where frost coats the trees and time seems to slow, the snow monkeys teach us something simple and yet profound. The lesson that peace can be learned, and sometimes the wisest thing you can do is to simply sit still and soak. Nara. If Osaka is Japan's extrovert, then Nara is its elder. Calm, dignified, and filled with quiet wisdom. Long before Tokyo rose, Nara was Japan's first permanent capital. In the 8th century, the nation began to imagine itself as one, through temples, scrolls, and sacred stone. Nara was instrumental here. And while it is no longer the capital, Nara continues to stand ready to greet visitors, not with fanfare, but with the reflection of the nation's history. In Nara Park, wide lawns stretch beneath ancient pines and cherry trees, while hundreds of deer wander freely. These shika, sacred messengers, have roamed the land for over 1,000 years. They will bow for food, nudge for attention, and walk without fear. Nearby stands Todaiji, the Great Eastern Temple. Its vast wooden hall shelters the Daibutsu, a bronze Buddha, serene and unblinking, standing over 15 meters tall. This is one of the busiest temples in all of Japan. Cast in the 8th century, the Daibutsu is more than an icon. It is stillness made solid. Visitors move beneath the beams in quiet awe. Incense drifts, light filters through doors. The air hums with reverence. Just beyond lies Kasuga Taisha, Nara's most revered Shinto shrine. The forest path is lined with thousands of stone lanterns lit only during rare festivals. Inside, bronze lanterns hang from crimson eaves, swaying gently like bells without sound. Nara invites you to walk, to pause. In every corner, pond, garden, and mossy slope, time just lingers here. Weathered stone Buddhas rest half-hidden, not displayed, just present. To the east, Mount Wakakusa rises. Each January, flames sweep across the grass during Yamiyaki, a ritual of renewal, fire blooming against the sky. Temples sit among the trees. Shrines rest beneath cliffs, deer doze beside vending machines, sacred and ordinary coexist. In Isuien Garden, pine trees bend over koi ponds, and bridges lead the eye to Mount Wakakusa in the distance, in what is known as shake, or borrowed scenery. Meanwhile, just outside the city, Horyuji endures. Built in the 7th century, its wooden halls have outlasted centuries of earthquakes and wars. Walking its quiet paths feels like witnessing history still breathing. And Nara is close, under an hour from Kyoto or Osaka. Yet a world apart in tempo. Here the bustle fades, the voices lower, and something stirs old beneath every step. In Nara, history is not a backdrop. It is the path, the air, it is the silence. The sound of hooves on stone, the rustle of paper fortunes, the soft ring of bells beneath tiled eaves. And if you listen, truly listen, you may hear what Japan heard when it first began. Nikko. Tucked into the mountains north of Tokyo, surrounded by cedar forests and misted waterfalls, lies the sacred town of Nikko. For centuries, emperors and monks came here to step away from the world, to listen and to remember. At its heart is Toshogu Shrine, an ornate and spiritual place that is entirely unforgettable. Built in the 1600s as the resting place of the Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of a unified Japan, the shrine is a kaleidoscope of detail. Gold leaf, lacquer, and carvings cover every surface. Look closely and you'll see the famous three wise monkeys: see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, carved into the sacred stables. A staircase leads through forest to the tomb. Wind stirs the trees, footsteps fall softly. The walk quiets the mind. Nikko reminds us that even power must return to peace. That memory lives on, not only in monuments, but in moss, trees, and in silence. Its name means sunlight, yet the town often rests in shadow, filtered through mist and cedar. It is shaped by balance. Shinto and Buddhism coexist here. Two ways of bowing, two ways of seeing, a world apart brought together. Toshogu forms a spiritual trio, with Futara-san Shrine and Rinoji Temple. Futara-san, founded in 767, honors Nikko's sacred peaks. Its paths wind through trees older than memory. Torii gates don't divide but invite. Rinoji, founded by monk Shodo Shonin, holds towering golden Buddhas, Amida, Senju Kanon, and Bato Kanon. Nearby, the Taiyuan Mausoleum, final resting place of Umetsu, echoes Toshogu's grandeur, but in a more restrained key. Nature surrounds everything. The Daya River flows through town, crossed by the sacred Shinkyo Bridge. Bright red, gently arched, and said to have been laid by divine beings. This bridge marks the threshold of spirit. Further into the mountains lies Lake Chuzenji, a quiet mirror beneath Mount Nantai. Formed by ancient eruption, its shores are lined with shrines, trails, and the Meiji Emperor's summer villa. Paddleboats drift, leaves rustle. In autumn, the hills glow with a special kind of fire. Nearby, Kegon Falls drops nearly 100 meters into a gorge. Frozen still in winter, thundering with meltwater in summer. The falls are a reminder of Japan's paradox: stillness in motion, grace and power. Many travelers speak of a feeling that time moves differently here, that the air, touched by incense and forest, holds something older than memory. In the morning, mist drapes the treetops. Bells ring faintly, voices hush. Even the ground seems to listen. Though only 2 hours from Tokyo, Nikko feels worlds away. It offers you something rare, a return to the inward. The chance to walk through slowly, as though inside a memory. And a reminder that even the greatest power must bow to time, and in silence, something sacred still remains. In the heart of Nagano Prefecture stands one of Japan's most iconic fortresses, Matsumoto Castle. With black wooden walls and sloping roofs, it's known as the Crow Castle, a name that suits its elegance and watchfulness. Built in the 16th century, it remains one of Japan's oldest surviving castles. Its stone base and wooden interior are completely original. Standing beside a still moat, its reflection dances softly on the water. But Matsumoto is more than a castle. It's a doorway. Beyond its walls rise the Northern Alps, a stretch of rugged peaks and alpine valleys that call to hikers and travelers in search of stillness. Here, soba noodles are cut from mountain-grown buckwheat. Wasabi farms thrive in spring-fed streams. Trails wind through forests to vistas that stretch beyond the eye's reach. Matsumoto is strength and softness. Stone and sky. A past still present. And a horizon always waiting. From outside, the castle exudes calm power. Its black walls and tiered roofs were made to defend and to impress, bold against snow or summer skies. Unlike hilltop castles, it rises from the plains, giving it rare symmetry. Its 6 levels, hidden in 5 visible tiers, hold steep staircases, weapon racks, and arrow slits. Inside, the air smells of cedar. Floorboards creak. The notion that samurai once stood here prevails. Now, children climb those steps, voices mingling with centuries of silence. Outside, the seasons paint gently. In spring, cherry blossoms drift. In autumn, maples flare. In winter, snow settles on black rooftops. In these seasonal changes, beauty takes shape, not as display, but as awareness. This is the Japanese aesthetic at heart. Not to dazzle, but to invite reflection. Every petal, every shadow is part of the design. Nearby, Nakamachi Street preserves Edo-era merchant homes with namako walls. Today, they hold sake shops, galleries, and cafes that honor craftsmanship and continuity. The Seiji Ozawa Festival, held each summer, fills the town with classical music echoing through courtyards and concert halls alike. To the west lies Kamikochi, a highland basin in Chubu-Sangaku National Park. Wooden paths follow the Azusa River, framed by Mount Hotaka and Mount Yake. Pines whisper, monkeys sleep, snow melt flows, and nature feels untouched here. Nearby, Shirahone Onsen steams beneath mountain skies. Its milky waters, rich in minerals, are famed for healing, quiet even as seasons change. In Azumino, glacier-fed rivers nourish Japan's finest wasabi. At Daiwa Wasabi Farm, visitors wander emerald fields and taste a gentler, fresher wasabi. Dishes like trout grilled over charcoal or wasabi ice cream capture the clarity of place. At twilight, the castle is lit from below. Reflections ripple on the moat. Locals stroll by, unhurried. And above it all, the keep watches, not as a relic of war, but as a guardian of memory and grace. Matsumoto doesn't demand attention. It earns it, through grit, stillness, and through time. Okinawa. Far to the south, where Japan stretches toward the tropics, the islands begin to change. On Ishigaki and Okinawa, the air is warm with salt and sun. The oceans shimmer in turquoise layers. Coral reefs fringe the shores, and white sands curve around hidden coves. These islands move at a slower, softer rhythm, closer to the sea. Kabira Bay on Ishigaki is a mirror of calm. Beneath its waters, pearls are cultivated in silence. Life here is shaped by the sea. And there is a culture that blends Japanese, Chinese, and Taiwanese roots. You'll hear it in the music, see it in the temples, and taste it in goya champuru, or seaweed soup. In Okinawa, castle ruins overlook the coast. And in every village, long life is honored. People here often live into their 90s and beyond, not by chasing time, but by walking with it. These are islands of sunlight and stories passed gently between generations. Yet beneath the ease lies a history both luminous and complex. For centuries, the Ryukyu Kingdom thrived as a maritime link between Japan, China, and the rest of Southeast Asia. Its rulers built curved stone castles rising like waves. Today, Shuri Castle in Naha tells the story in red and gray. Nearly destroyed in 1945, it's still being restored, stone by stone. Walking its archways, one senses elegance, not dominance. The halls echo with court music and the Ryukyuan language, still sung in lullabies and ceremony. Nearby, Naha's markets offer lafute pork, many imo sweets, and coral jewelry. Shisa lion dogs grin from rooftops, warding off misfortune. On Ishigaki, jungle mountains rise over tidal flats. Iriomote Island, a short ferry away, shelters rare coral reefs and the elusive wildcat. Travelers can kayak through mangroves, dive among manta rays, and stargaze under skies untouched by city light. This slower pace is more than lifestyle. It is the world view here. In Okinawa, Yuimaru means mutual aid and shapes part of everyone's life. Elders are honored for their endurance. Longevity is the result of connection, movement, and food tied to place. The Okinawan diet is rich in vegetables, seaweed, and tofu, flavored with fermented ingredients, and katsuo bushi. Meals are shared, always with gratitude, and laughter and song are considered nourishment as well. The sanshin, a three-stringed instrument, carries tones of joy and longing. Shima uta, folk songs of sea and harvest, are passed down in dance and rhythm. At festivals, dancers in bright dress spin slowly to hand drums, movement older than memory. Even quiet places speak. On Okinawa's southern cliffs, waves crash below the Peace Memorial Park. Black granite stones bear names from the Battle of Okinawa, both Japanese and American. The wind here seems to vow never again. Still, there is gentleness, a culture shaped by hardship but not hardened by it. The warmth is not just from the sun. It's in every shared meal, every smile, and every unhurried moment. The southern islands of Japan do not demand attention. They offer something much rarer, a chance to slow down, to learn that peace is not the absence of movement, but its perfect rhythm, and that sometimes the oldest truths live where the ocean meets the shore. From the snowy silence of mountain shrines to the glowing reflections of neon streets, from steaming valleys and drifting petals to quiet temples and distant peaks. Japan reveals itself not all at once, but layer by layer. There is power here, engraved in nature, resilience written in stone, in ritual, and in the spirit of its people. Beauty in both the fleeting and the eternal. As the bell rings in the temple, as bamboo wrestles in the wind, as your journey comes to an end. Let this stay with you, not as a memory, but as a gentle, enduring story. And if you truly listen, you may find that Japan wasn't just a place that you visited. It was something that visited you and stayed.